Welcome back to another Genesis Moment. So happy that you're here. We've been studying through the book of Acts on Sunday nights here at Genesis, and we've been discovering some really awesome things. This week, what are you drunk? Part 1 of Peter's sermon. So what's going on here is 120 people descend like a flash mob on Jerusalem, speaking of the wonderful works of God, all in different kinds of languages, but completely comprehensible to the whole crowd. And they do so with a fullness of joy. So this passage in Acts has kind of puzzled some people for a long time, and I'm going to try to explain to you perhaps what was going on. Look, there is so much joy coming out of these people. One of the first reactions from the crowd is, "What are you, drunk? What are you doing? These people gotta be drinking something. There's no way they could possibly be this happy." Now I'm interjecting that part. It's a little bit of an interpretive license, if you will. But it's kind of like this. Ever meet somebody at work or around the street or anywhere that you've been that's been just a little bit too happy and you're kind of like, "Man, I want what they're having. Serve me up one of those. Give me some of that stuff." Well, it could be something like that. These people's first reaction to a whole bunch of people hitting the street, just going wild with telling the people about the wonderful works of God. They're wonder-filled and wonder overflowing. The response from the crowd is, "Man, they gotta be on something. What, are they drunk?" But this isn't one of those moments. Something totally radical had happened, which the religious people didn't quite understand. You see, life with God is not simply about keeping rules, going to festivals, and making sure all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. It's not exactly like that. The life that God originally wanted for his people was an intimate spiritual one. So this is such a really important Holy Spirit moment. This is when the Holy Spirit got poured out, and there's a few things to take note of here. One, these people are not drunk as you think, Peter says. They're not drunk. I know we're Galileans, but listen, boys, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's a little bit too early for this to be going on. Similar to saying this too, if we were alcoholics, we wouldn't be up here at 9 o'clock in the morning. Trust me. No, but in fact, what is actually going on is a fulfillment of prophecy. This is God pouring out his Spirit from on high. This is God now filling the hearts of his people with his very presence. That's an amazing thing. Look, when God finally comes into your heart, you then enter into the realm of everlasting life. And it's an experience like no other. It's the experience that causes all kinds of joy to well up. It's kind of like one of these parables that Jesus was telling the woman at a well one time. He was saying, "If you would ask me for living water, I'd give it to you. And whoever drinks of this living water that I give, out of his heart, out of his innermost being, will come fountains of living water." That's what he's talking about. This is what's going on. These 120 people have just entered into a whole entire new level. God, these people have just entered into the realm of the Spirit. Now, there is a really huge difference between trying to please God with what you do in keeping the law and obeying and being a good little Christian boy and girl or good little Jewish boy and girl, and entering into the realm of the Spirit and walking in the Spirit and being full of the Spirit. The main difference is this: a relationship with God in a spiritual level can only be initiated as there is a desire to both seek God and God's desire to seek you. There's a connection that is made on a spiritual level. What happened with these guys? Well, Jesus said, "Wait in Jerusalem until you receive power from on high." I think through the years, many people have really misunderstood what is actually going on here because they see the word tongues and they think of some kind of yibber-yabber that is uncomprehendable. No, this is actually what's happening. God is letting the world know with absolute clarity that he has started to indwell people. And the response from the heart of a human being is absolute fullness of joy. So maybe you're struggling in your Christian walk. Maybe your Christian walk's kind of become cold and just a matter of rule keeping. This is a message for you. You know what? Spend some time. Wait on the Lord. Meditate on the things that he has spoken. Meditate on his word. Humble yourself underneath his mighty hand and let him not only pick you up, but let him fill you up. Thank you everybody for tuning in for another Genesis Moment. What are you, drunk? Peter's Sermon Part 1. Turn in next time to Peter's Sermon Part 2. What must I do to be saved? Also, don't forget to like the page, share it around to your friends if this has been a blessing to you, and subscribe.